What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Hayward here from Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Retro Rich. All right, folks, it is time for the Intellivision Amico Takeover. That's right. So, what we're going to do today, in today's episode of the Intellivision Amico Takeover, we changed it up a little bit. I think I mentioned in yesterday's Fun for 5 that we were going to do, actually, an Amico Fun for 5 today. That had to get postponed because, shooting schedule, getting my brother-in-law in to do the VO and all that fun stuff. We're going to do it next week during the full-fledged takeover. But today, our video is all about the plan, the system, some stories, and some smiles. So anyway, let's get to it and give you a little bit of the timetable of what's going to happen. So today's video, of course, is about those things that I just mentioned. Then Takeover Week, which is next week, starting on Monday, begins the actual Fun for 5 on the Monday. That'll star a whole bunch of cool games, reactions from me and Eric, and translated reactions of me and Eric through our children, right? Because our children actually were the ones to be playing the games mostly at Crayola, so we're kind of gonna translate their experience for them and kind of give you our take of what a 4- and 5-year-old thought of the Intellivision Amico, which was kind of cool. Then on Tuesday, we're gonna go take a deep dive into the controller. We're gonna take a look at the controller itself. I'm gonna give you some opinions on what I feel about the disc and the screen and everything entailing the controller itself. So that'll be pretty cool, and hopefully we'll have some cool footage for you and kind of show you what at least I feel about the controller and how I feel that it is kind of carving a completely different space inside of the video game world, above and beyond everything that we have seen previously, which is cool. Then we're going to start getting into some of the games. The next video on Wednesday is going to be about Flying Tigers. We're going to do a deep dive there. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff that I saw, a whole bunch of really cool features, a whole bunch of gameplay video that I shot myself, and then some really awesome stuff towards the end that you guys might not want to miss. Then the next video will be about Finnegan Fox. Why? Well, it's because I did get a lot of footage of that particular game. I played that game, as well as Flying Tigers, for a considerable amount of time, and I feel that I can kind of make a good impression and speak to it on a bigger level. Maybe we'll throw some extra game in there. Maybe we'll talk about retro Rigid Force Redux. But I don't know exactly what we're going to do with that particular point of the schedule. But maybe we'll just keep it on Finnegan Fox, or maybe you guys here in the comments can go down below and tell me what's going on. Then the final video on Friday will be about Evel Knievel. I've got a lot to say about Evel Knievel because I've seen it now. Well, I saw it at all 3 different events. I saw it at the Friday event because I was over at Retro Bros' house to check that out. I saw it again at Crayola for a brief time, and then I saw it for a pretty extended period of time at another event that happened right after the Crayola event that I want to talk to you about. And actually today, there's some cool stories that came out of that experience that, kind of opened my eyes to really what Amico's all about. So that's the plan. So now let's dig into the system. So the system looks like this. There's Tommy holding the newish style Glacier white Amico. As you see on the back, actually, we can take a real quick look at the back itself. There is, in this model, 1 HDMI port, 1 USB-C port for charging, docking, accessories, etc. Possibly a hub, maybe. It could be plugged in there. Who knows? And an SD slot, and then, of course, the power adapter slot. So those are the 4 ports that are on the back there. So any of the other drawings or anything like that, it looks like they're kind of refining down to those 4 things, which is kind of cool because, you got to keep it simple. You're pulling it out of the box. You just got to, plug it in. You don't want anything else getting in your way. I wouldn't really expect much else either. I mean, you've got your output for your video, you've got your input method for extra peripherals, etc., and you've got your SD card for your storage. I mean, what else do you need, really? You know, there's nothing on the front besides the button, and that's pretty much that. So, you know, dead simple to set up. You're gonna pick it up out of the box, and boom, that's it. You're good to go. So, but while I was there, although we couldn't show anything, we did see the UI, and that's the next thing I wanted to talk about, was the fact that there is the store, the thought of the store being a part of the UI. That was a really cool concept. So Tommy kind of explained how it's going to work. And how it's going to work is you turn on your console and you get basically a menu. You know, and it's just like any other old menu. You've got, you know, your cool little, you know, the icons for your games. You've got your different menu options. You can go into settings. You know, it's not similar because it doesn't look really anything except for maybe like the Vita. The Vita's UI. There's some similar things happening here in the Vita's UI, but as to the Amico, but not. I mean, it is still different. I like the way it feels. It feels very friendly. It feels very clean. It is easy to navigate, and it is very simple as far as in the different categories that it sorts games, in all those different things. It's very intuitive. You know exactly what you're getting as you're looking at the UI. But before I go too much deep into that, the thing that I really wanted to drive home was the fact that the store is part of that menu. There is not a store menu. There's not a store you go to go and look and hunt for games. The store is the menu, and the menu is the store. If you guys can kind of think about that. What that means is every game that is available on Amico day one, when you turn it on and connect it to the internet, will be available to you to look at on the main screen. So every launch title, everything. Discovery makes discovery completely easy early on in the console's lifecycle because they're all literally right there. So what about the ones that you own? You know, the 6-pack-in titles, for example. Well, there's a special icon for that. Like the icon will change and shift to show you that you own the game, and all the others will be maybe like suppressed or faded out or something that they haven't figured out exactly what that's going to look like yet. And the example that we saw, all the games were on the console, so that they all had their little kind of like bubbly nature, round, globy kind of thing to them, which is kind of cool. Again, it makes it very easy. It also, like I said, entices the viewer for early discovery, that player, to go, oh wait, what's this game? I just turned it on, it connected to the internet, and now there's another little dot. What is the dot? And then you can go in there and get information about it, read up on it. Oh, cool, that sounds neat to try. I mean, these games are gonna be like $10, you know, max at launch digitally. So you just go, all right, cool, well, whatever. Let's give it a whirl for $10. You hit the button, downloads, you're done. Pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Now, I didn't ask the question. I should have asked the question. Do they automatically load the actual game or just give you an icon to see the game? That is an interesting question. Because if they backfill the game in the memory, then allow you to purchase it and then kind of have an instant play action, that is really cool. That would be a really cool feature. Now, of course, you know, you have to worry about, all right, well, you know, are they going to continue to write to the SD card that's in there? Because, you know, okay, you have got now the 32 gigs of storage, so I mean, it's a pretty decent amount of games, but I mean, is it going to be the entire Amico library? Not at the site, the life cycle's end, of course. So you're going to still need extra space on there. So you have to figure out and navigate through that. Yeah, it's, you know, later's issue, I guess, but it's kind of cool. Still pretty cool. So again, on the UI, we were also told that it kind of tells a story, the UI, but what is it? We don't know. The one thing I did notice that was very cool is the timetable, you know, like a morning, afternoon, night, you know, is reflected in the menu in a really cool way. At night was when we were seeing this particular version of the UI. You know, there's a cool starry sky in the background, like a shooting star on the Amico logo, and you know, kind of like a glowing bluish hue kind of on a horizon, right? That is off in the distance. And in the main menu, it looks cool. It looks really neat. Now, is that going to be final? Who knows? Maybe they change it and it looks different or something like that. But I mean, for now, I think it looks cool. It looks very, very cool. So, last thing I want to put about the system, because I'm going to leave it to questions. I'm going to try to keep this short. And then if you do have more questions, hit me up in the comments and we can run back and revisit all of these different topics. So even though these videos might be a little shorter than usual, don't worry. I can, you got questions, I've got answers. And this is how we're going to interact, right? I'm going to tell you what I know. You have some questions for me, I'll tell you, if I can, any more things that I know. So, all right, cool. So that last little bit on the UI or on the system itself was the fact that, it's something very simple. They've redesigned it to have clips now in the front. So instead of that flat face where you put the controller down so it can dock, they're actually going to have clips and ridges inside of the controller where you can kind of dock it, where it won't move around or jump around on you. That was confirmed by Tommy that they have already redesigned and worked that out. It's just it wasn't an example of the systems that he brought with him. So that's pretty cool, though. I mean, definitely some forward thought into that, of course, because if you have it on a table or you have it on your coffee table or whatever, somebody bumps into it, it's not going to send the controller flying across the room. But more on the controller later, because you might not have to worry about it if it had to hit the floor or do anything like that anyway. But again, more on that later. And then, of course, there's so many more mysteries to unravel about the system, the UI, all of the things that it can do, all the other features that were talked about, whether or not they've come to fruition and stuff like that. Because, a lot of that stuff is we just don't know, and that'll be stuff that comes out later, right? That'll be firmware updates and over-the-air updates and stuff like that they keep pushing to the system. So more stuff to look forward to. And that's pretty cool. So that's it for the system for now. And of course, I hope you do enjoy some of the things that have been happening on screen over here. I've been filtering some cool gameplay elements. The audio, I'm sorry I didn't load in any of the audio for these clips that I've shot because, to be honest, it was really, really loud in everywhere. So it's it's stuff that you don't want to hear because you can't cut that noise down enough to hear the game or anything like that. But there's some live footage for you of other games to check out. That'll be running all throughout this. So then we get to the story time, right? The reactions. So what is my general reaction? So I've got a couple. My first and major reaction to the entire event was the fact that from the time I started holding the controller in my hand, really actually from the time I started getting into the area to meet so many of these people that I've just seen in front of a screen for hours, I've got this sense of just the smile kind of coming over my face. And it really made me happy to get together with all these people and to be blessed with the kindness of people like the Retro Bro for opening his house to random people on the internet, right? And for his efforts with Retro Advisory Board to make the Crayola event a possibility, and get people to come to the Crayola event. And then, of course, again, for them to invite everybody down for a nice meal afterwards and, some more continued play. Of course, a hat tip to Intellivision themselves for coming down, with their small team, Tommy and Eric and everybody to, bring the Amicos over and have us play it. It was cool. It was very cool. It was really cool to see. And it was cool to see how many other people enjoyed it. So when I was down in Retro Bro's home and we were playing Amico, I just looked around and an hour goes by and people are still smiling. 2 hours goes by, they're still smiling. 3 hours goes by, they're still smiling. I'm starting to get a little tired, to be honest. I had a full work day. I had like a whole bunch of other stuff to do. I'd packed my vehicle with two 55-inch televisions for the Crayola event. Hat tip again to my job for donating the televisions for the event, or allowing us to borrow them at least for the event. Thank you very much. That was really cool. But the smiles didn't stop. The fun didn't stop. And that's kind of the magic of the system. It brings me back to holidays with my cousins. You know, I hadn't felt like that playing video games, right? I hadn't felt that happy just sitting around playing video games with friends in a long, long time. And the instant memory that brings me, you know, like the analog, the instant memory analog to that entire event from Friday night all the way through to Saturday night was me and my cousins back in the day during the holiday seasons sitting down in the Atari room playing Air Sea Battle and Combat and all these basic games, right? For hours. And all we did was just hold the controller and hit the button on those crazy blocks that are shooting other blocks. And we just had a blast. And we just got random people I'd never met in my life. Some people from channels I never watched in my life. And by the time that night ended, and by the time the second night ended, we all felt like we were a part of a family. And a piece of plastic that plays video games on it made me feel that way. Just like a piece of plastic that that played video games made me feel like that with my own family way back in the day. You can't explain that, right? You can't explain that feeling. You can't justify that feeling, all right? I mean, my feeling, my experience are my own, right? You might not feel that way, you know, should you go and get an Amico, right? And this is not a sales pitch either, right? I'm just saying that's what I felt. And I think that people in that room felt that same way. Because how long can you keep a smile or force yourself to keep a smile, right? Like that. You can't. You can't. That was all genuine. That was all just people having a good time, just living in the moment. And that's awesome. And that's really, really cool. So I think there's something here that people are going to like. And it's really, really neat. So speaking of that, then there's the next thing. So Saturday night, we're at this banquet event, right? And it's a little, get together at a family restaurant. The Amicos come out, start playing some Evil Knievel, and then someone that doesn't really play games starts playing. And they're playing, they're having a good time. And they're playing some more, and they're having a good time and crashing. And then all of a sudden, they get to the end, because if you guys don't know what Evil Knievel is, basically it's kind of like a mini Trials-ish kind of game. You've got a motorcycle, you have to go through different obstacles, and after you get through the obstacle maze, you get to make a jump, right? You have to make sure you're timing it right, you get the right angle, you jump at the right angle, and you have to land on the other side on the on-ramp, or you'll crash, right? It's pretty simple. So I'm watching this person play and play and play and play. And finally, they get to the point where the jump happens and they land it. And, it feels good when you make the jump. Well, to this person, it felt so good that they jumped up out of their chair and ran around the room screaming, "I made it, I made it, I made it." I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say about that. That wasn't pre-scripted. That wasn't a joke. This person they don't really play games. They were sitting there trying to do the thing. And it's hard. I mean, Evil Knievel is not easy. You don't just hit the button and make every jump every 5 seconds. I mean, they went and played that same level probably 15 times before they made that first jump. But then they made it, and then they were so happy. It was like they won the Super Bowl. It was just crazy. It was just the sheer joy coming out of this person that they had made that jump was electrifying. It was awesome. The whole room stopped. Why is this person running around the room screaming? It was just, it was something else. It was something else. And another testament to like, hey, you know what? Again, there's something about this thing that I think people, you know, they're missing until they get it in their hands, right? So, I mean, my recommendation is get it in your hands. You know, like they come to your area, go play. You know, go check it out. Go see what this is all about. Bring friends, bring family, and then do it. You know, I mean, if you can't do any of that, and you want to go by yourself, fine. Go ahead and check it out. Check it out. Just do it. But still, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. But all right, so to wrap this whole thing up, I got one little personal anecdote, and the other reaction is from my son. We went to Crayola, like I said, took him there to play the game. He had played Shark first. And he played it, and he enjoyed it, and everything was cool. And we went to go around the Crayola experience, and he found a playground. He loves playgrounds. It absorbed the next hour of his life playing around the playground because he just loves them. You know, going up the stairs and down the tubes and, you know, up and down the slide and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And his cousin with them too. And they were just running around. Everybody's having a great time. He completely forgotten about the fact that he just played a video game system. I'm going to be honest. He completely forgot about it. So I was like, all right, well, you know, that happens, you know. 5-year-olds, you know, you get, here it is. There's the thing. You get focused on it. You like it. Great. You go on, you play. Okay, well, maybe he's done. And, you know, I'm not going to force him to go back in the line, you know, and to go play the game. That's a, you know, this is his time, right? Whatever he wants to do is on him. But then we're playing in another room where you can have these tablets, right? You can take a picture of your face and put it on the wall and make it all silly looking. It's kind of cool. And then he just stops dead and he turns around and he's like, Daddy, I want to go play Astro Smash. Oh, okay. You know, is what I said. I was like, all right. But here's the weird thing. I didn't say the name of the game to him at all the entire day. Normally he'll pick up on things. If you say something in the morning, he'll remember it and he'll say it to you later on. But while he was playing Shark, he knew that the game next to him from watching a video was Astro Smash. Remembered it in his head, went around, decided he was done with whatever he was doing and whatever he wanted to play next, and then stopped and then asked me if we could go and ask to go play Astro Smash. And I was like, of course. Of course. But that did it for me. That was enough. That was enough. For my son, you know, I don't want him to be obsessed with video games, right? I don't want him to be glued to a television playing them all the time, right? You know, like cannot leave, cannot, you know, like bear to put down the controller. I want him to enjoy video games. I want him to enjoy games with us and hang out with the family. But that's not, you know, I don't want it to be all encompassing for him. But the fact that he had enjoyment playing Shark, then went around, ran it out, played around like a kid should do, right? Played with some other things. It had nothing to do with video games or the Amico or anything. And then come back to it going, oh, you know what? I want to check that other game out. Awesome. That shows me that he has enough interest in the console that he will revisit it and he wasn't bored with it. That's enough for me. Pre-order secure. Done. You know, that's it. That's for me. That's all it's about, you know, because this thing coming into my house, this Amico that I had pre-ordered coming into the house, it's for them. You know, yes, okay, yeah, I'm going to enjoy Astro Smash. I'm going to play Knievel 2. I'm going to play Shark. I'm going to probably play and do a Fun for 5 down here in the studio for every single Amico game that comes out. Just like my Evercade. I'll do Fun for 5s on them too, eventually. The Atari VCS, I'm going through the store playing every single game on the VCS. You know, we already know that's a thing. I play Master System games. You know, it's going to happen. But the main reason I'm getting this thing is so that my son and my family and my friends that come over can sit down and play. You know, even if they don't play PS5 or Xbox or PC or any of this stuff on the regular. You know, something to do after dinner on a Sunday night. What are you going to do? Let's play some Shark. Let's play some Astro Smash. Let's play whatever. The holidays come around. It's now we get in together. You know, maybe while people are doing the opening presents thing, we throw up a game, we have pass the controller around, open the presents, do another round, do whatever, right? You know, on a Thanksgiving night, before we all pass out from turkey coma, oh, let's do a round of Farkle, or, you know, let's play a little of this, or whatever. It's a thing you play for a little bit, and then you put it down, and then, you know, you go about your day. I think that's what Amico is for me. And to know that my son is interested enough to keep returning to it, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. So anyway, what do you guys think of this particular episode, the footage that was rolling through this entire time, or anything else, or any of the other pictures you saw? Hit me up down below in the comments. I want to hear from you. Let me know. Let me know what your opinion is. And I'll reply to just about everyone. Just keep it nice, okay? Be nice. Nice. All right. Cool. So, as we said, the Intellivision Amico Takeover will continue next week. So don't come back tomorrow on Wednesday and think you're going to see another video. Because it won't be Amico, sorry. We just don't have that in the plans for right now. But come back next week, as we will all be on vacation here at the Bacon Ice Cream Studios, celebrating weddings and anniversaries and birthdays and all sorts of fun stuff. But you guys will be seeing the rest of the Intellivision Amico Takeover, starting with that Fun for Five and ending with some talk about some cool games. So, with all that being said, of course we say thank you to the friends. And thank you for the friends that aren't on this list, that were such a big part of making the weekend's event what it was. Thank you. Thank you again. You know, Retro Bro, thank you again for opening your home to us. Thank you, Rab, for calling everybody under the sun to try to get everybody here playing the Amico and making this feel really awesome. And hey, again, thanks to Team Intellivision for all your efforts and even considering coming out and showing us this cool system so we can check it all out. Thanks. But, of course, we also say hi to these friends too. Have nothing to do with the Amico, but they're our friends from across the pond, and they do a lot of Evercade goodness. Check them out. The Evercade Fans Group on Facebook and the Evercade Fans Group live session, if I could think. Also, on YouTube from It's Much More. James is a good guy. All those guys are great guys. So go over there. Have fun. Give them all the thumbs and the likes and the subs and all the things. All right, cool. It brings us back to us here at Bacon Ice Cream Productions. Thank you again so much for watching this. If you could on the way out, boom, hit that red button. Why not? Just do it. It's kind of cool. And until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. Take it easy, guys.
TeamRTFC.BaconIceCream.com